Today we gather not only to mourn, but to reflect on the life of a man whose journey was inseparable from the long and painful march of our people towards freedom. Comrade Tera was among those young South Africans who, when confronted by the injustice and brutality of apartheid, resolved that their lives would not be lived in quiet submission. In the alternative, they chose a long and difficult road of struggle. As Premier Lekota understood that public office carried with it a moral obligation to the people. He believed deeply in the principles of fairness, justice, and good governance. He insisted that the new democratic state must be guided not by patronage, but by the rule of law and accountability.
Premier of Free State from 1994 to 1996, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces from 1997 to 1999, Minister of Defense from 1999 to 2008, and National Chairperson of ANC from 1997 to 2007. He served for many years as a president of COPE and remained as active participant in South African democratic discourse.
And I'd like to conclude by thanking the family, but also to pay tribute to Cynthia Shange Lekota, who throughout the difficult years stood by his partner and spouse and bore him a number of children and did not forsake him for the reason that he was always out of the family in prison on Robben Island, etc.
Might I remind you that their marriage vows were not exchanged in a beautiful church, accompanied by good music and celebration. They were spoken behind quiet prison walls of Pretoria Central Prison, just before he was sentenced to a long-term sentence at Robben Island.
Mosiuoa had weighed geloop. Mosiuoa had diep trappe getrap. Hy het diep trappe getrap nasionaal. Hy het diep trappe getrap in die family.
And if you look at the history of the UDF from 1983 August until July 85, when the first state of emergency was declared after the Craddock funeral, it was 23 months, but 23 intense months of building struggle, of taking it broadly. And you can't look at that period in the history of this country without understanding the strength, the determination, and the adrenaline of Tera Lekota. He seemed to be driven by that adrenaline and big buckets of a fried chicken whose name I can't remember.
Tera was part of the great generation of heroes whose determination and sustained service to humanity inspired in us indomitable faith and hope in the future that we're building. Hope in the non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous South Africa.
A leader whose moral authority flowed not from office, but from service. Not from title, but from trust. Not from privilege, but from the people. Most of us sitting here today are aware that Ntate Lekota spoke truth to power, even when it came at a great personal cost to his political career. In the ANC and in opposition benches, he acted with deep-seated integrity, embodying the belief that public office is a calling to serve the people and not oneself. He did not chase popular acclaim, he chased justice. His integrity was not for sale. nor was his commitment to the downtrodden found wavering. He believed that the true measure of our liberation was not in the opulence of the few, but in the dignity of the poor. Even now, in his passing, Lekota has achieved what so few can. His death has brought us together. He has forced us to pause, look beyond our political divides. As a principal leader who valued dialogue, we should continue in his spirit to use the context of the national dialogue for engagement and coming together to shape the next chapter of our democracy. Robala ka khotso moetapele wa rona. Thank you very much.